Oh my gosh, they came out so cute. I can't wait to show you guys how I made them. Welcome, if you're new here, my name is Mina. I have a ton of hobbies and I love to make things from scratch, so this week I thought I'd make cough drops. These are all the ingredients I used. And yeah, feel free to swap out the tea for like a peppermint or a chamomile. As you can see, it's been very chilly in New York, and I love to have cough drops handy just in case my throat gets sore. They also make a really good gift for like a friend you haven't seen in a while. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead and boil my water, and while that's getting ready, I'm going to go ahead and prep my other ingredients. The kettle I'm using has a built-in strainer, but if you don't have one like this, totally fine. Just make sure you run your mixture through a strainer before putting it back into the hot pot, because you just want to make sure you filter out that ginger. I'm measuring out my hot water. And if you've got a big thing of ginger, just make sure you grate it down as finely as you can. I'm adding the cinnamon, and lastly the ginger. After you stir it in, you want to let it steep for about 10 minutes so it's a really strong brew. When it's done, you want to go ahead and put it into a pot. And this was my first time making cough drops and my first time making hard candy in general, and I learned a lot, so I'm going to tell you what not to do and what to do in hopes that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Okay, so after I added the mixture, I'm adding the honey. Okay, so this was my first mistake. I'm using a silicone spatula, which technically should be fine, but just to be on the safe side, I would recommend using wooden or metal, just so that it doesn't accidentally melt, because we're going to be bringing this mixture to about 300 degrees. That was my first mistake. Second mistake is that I was impatient and I cranked up the heat and I walked away. I didn't stir, I just went about, did other things, and it burnt real bad. So here it is. I'm not stirring. It's not good. I had to start over and make a new batch. So, okay, here I am, new batch, wooden spoon, and I'm constantly stirring, and I have it low to medium high. The process takes a long time. So take your time, be patient with it, and be constantly stirring, because before you know it, it'll all of a sudden just shoot up to 300 degrees, and you want to make sure you don't go over 300 because then it will burn. So take your time, go slow, and allow it to slowly get to 300. And I recommend turning off the heat at about 295 because it will spike very quickly towards the end. Another tip you want to be conscious of is you just want to make sure that it doesn't boil so much that it starts to kind of come up from the sides. You want it to stay low and foamy. Once it hits 300 degrees, I'm now going to pour it into my little mold. I didn't coat it or anything, I just went straight for the mold, and I should have done this a lot quicker because it was actually pretty cold in my apartment and the mixture started slowing up pretty quickly, so I recommend doing this as quickly as you can. If you notice, I said the mold was optional because I found that some other YouTubers had made these cough drops or something similar to them without a mold. What they did was they waited for the mixture to cool so it became kind of like a clay, and they were able to mold the mixture into little balls like hard candy and then coat them in powdered sugar. So I'll link an example of a YouTube video I saw in my description, but I'm all about like cute molds and hearts and things, so I wanted to use this silicone mold. I've never done anything with molds before, but it was really fun. If you have any ideas for how else I can use this mold, please let me know. So far I'm going to make cough drops with it, possibly candies, and maybe some wax melts. We'll see. So then I let it cool for about an hour, and like I mentioned before, my apartment was freezing, so they hardened up pretty quickly. So they started off neat, and then they got a little messy towards the end, so again, try to pour them as quickly as you can. A tip that you want to do to store these guys is you want to coat them with powdered sugar or cornstarch so that they don't stick. I'm using a little like scoop of powdered sugar that I just put in a small mason jar. And they just pop right out. Real cleanly, real cute. I love the way they turned out. It was so fun. Definitely you have to be patient though, so take your time with it. Enjoy the process. They're so pretty and shiny. And after I demold all of them, I'm going to want to shake up the jar to make sure I've coated them all properly. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspired you to make your very own cough drops. You can also like throw them in a batch of tea to add a little sweetness. They're just very versatile and cute and friendly, and I just love making homemade things in this time. So I hope you enjoyed, and I have to say I did try one, and the good thing is that they're not like candy, so they're not addicting, but the bad thing is that they're not like candy, so like don't get your hopes up and think these are gonna taste like a Jolly Rancher. They're not. They're gonna taste like a cough drop, but that is what we were going for. So yeah guys, thanks again so much for watching. Have a great rest of your evening, and let me know if you tried them out.